Yes, guys, and welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV with your favourite Irishman and your favourite Canadian. So I don't know whether Brian is happy with favourite Canadian, but we're going to stick with that today. Favourite English Canadian, that's what we'll go with. And today, Tottenham look to keep their unbeaten record as we head to the City ground to take on Nottingham Forest. Just a bit of quick transfer update. Nottingham Forest are set to unveil Renan Lodi today, as per Fabrizio Romano a few minutes ago. at the City ground today, which probably means Sergio Reguilon will probably be heading to Atletico Madrid on loan. But guys, me and Brian will be talking all things Tottenham Forest today in the build-up for today's game. And we will be bringing you all the way through to the live watch-along with your favourite bun, Danny Kiriakou, and the one and only Marlon. And they'll also be giving you the post-match fan show for you to come on and share your thoughts. But look, it's only Little Forest today. It's time to turn that forest into my back garden. That's what's going to happen today. Brian, how are you, brother?
I am very, very good, my man. Very, very excited for today's game. Big game, and like I said to you backstage, I think it's going to be a lot tougher than people think. I really do. I still think we'll get the 3 points, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And you know what? Having my new job and working all week and then having a day off to sit back and watch Spurs, I appreciate it so much more now. So much more.
Oh, it's great. It's like me, Brian, when I used to work in the hotel and doing the bars and stuff like that. I mean, I'd be working all weekend, every weekend. So it's an absolute godsend now to be off for the games. Big up Richard Etheridge, new channel member as well. Big up, my man. Hopefully we get to see you on the fan shows and the shows that the boys do during the week. But look, for me, I slightly disagree with Brian today. I do think, for me, I have a feeling I think it's going to be a little bit easier than what people are saying. Look, they played against West Ham, gave up a lot of chances. Against Everton, gave up an awful lot of chances. Their weakness is that back line. And if they give them chances to us today, we absolutely take it. 100% we take it. And for me, I'm feeling confident today. I'm feeling a big enough victory today. But Brian, I think we'll all agree. I think the most important thing today is the manner of the performance.
Yeah, I mean, I said it at the end of your show just before you finished. I think Cody mentioned it on Twitter as well. I think what I really want to see today is we've got to come out all guns blazing in the first half. You keep, like you said before about it wanting to be an easier, or you think it may be an easier victory. We can't keep relying on second half performances and Conte getting him into the changing room and going, "Yep, here we go," and him tearing lumps into them, and then says, "Go out and do the job." We need it. We can't do that. Even though it's Nottingham Forest, let's face it, they're not one of the big clubs that we're going to be facing. We can't keep riding our luck and coming out with second half performances and getting the job done. I want to see us come out in the first half, literally foot on the gas and just be relentless, and we need to do it.
Do you know what? For me, what I will say is I do think it's a sign of a very good team and perhaps potentially a dangerous team. That even when you're not playing well, you're still putting the points on the board. I think the start of the season, for me, in my opinion anyway, has been very positive. 7 points out of 9 that we yielded 0 points from last season. So that is a huge positive for me. But I agree with you, Daigle, in terms of the performance aspect. For me, I want to see us dominate them all over that pitch. I want to see us out-muscle them, out-jump them, outwork them, outrun them, and obviously outscore them. For me, I think we're the big boys coming here today, and it's up to them to show us the respect. It's up to them to have a plan for us. We should be able to go out there without really any pressure and play our game. And for me, I want to see a dominant performance from minute 1, or sorry, not even, that's too long, from the first whistle all the way to minute 90 plus, whatever it is. I think probably 5 minutes added on today. So for me, I want to see an absolute dominant performance. We can't keep relying on these second half performances. At some stage, we have to turn up in the first half. But Brian, why do you think we've struggled in the first half of the last couple of games?
Do you know what? I don't know. If you look at it, Southampton, we went 1-0 down. We've started all these games brightly for the first 10 minutes, and then for some reason, it's just like, okay, we'll let the other team have a little bit of possession. The way if we look at Southampton, we actually did put in a decent performance in the first half. We started off well. James Ward-Prowse scored his obligatory goal against us, and then we turned it around, and that was a good performance. And that was the first game of the season, and the stadium was rocking and everything. Chelsea was obviously abysmal, and Wolves was shocking in the first half. Was shocking. I don't know what it is. I think teams are obviously wary of us. Without Antonio Conte, they're like, right, we just can't mark Son and Kane now. We need to be on our game.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do. And you've got to remember, going to Forest today, that place is going to be bouncing. For the whole season, Forest being up from the first time in, I can't believe, 23 odd years for a club that size, that place is going to be absolutely bouncing. And like you said, I mean, they had that small club from East London that went there for their first home game, and now they got the big boys coming. This is a huge tie. There's a bit of history of Spurs and Forest in cup games, like we got in the Carabao Cup now, and they're going to be absolutely bouncing. And if they go for we know how big home support can be and how vital it can be. It could be a key factor. It could be a key factor, but we need to literally stamp our authority and show that we are the bigger team and better team from minute one. Because if we don't, they will try and capitalise.
Yeah, look, I get your point. I take your point 100%. It's going to be bouncing, but hopefully someone's ordered them a bouncy castle, Brian, because if not, they're going to be very, very disappointed with the outcome of today's game. Look, for me, I think the slow start, I remember seeing it a lot last season, but it was more so the first 5-10 minutes. We kind of relinquished possession and just kind of filled our way into the game. Now, this season, I do hope to see a bit of progression where we perhaps don't need to do that to invite teams onto us and try and catch them on the counter. I'm hoping now from minute one, we can just dominate that possession. I think that's been probably our biggest problem, especially first half against Wolves and definitely against Chelsea, is not being able to retain that possession. Usually when you retain possession, you just dominate the game because you have the ball and you're not chasing it. And that's what I want to see from this Tottenham team from minute zero today, because like I said, minute one is way too long to be waiting. But from minute zero, Brian, because I want to see nice, crisp, clean passes. I want to see any of this long ball stuff straight back to the opposition goalkeeper. 5-yard passes bouncing everywhere, making our groundsmen look bad. You know, I don't want to see any of that. I just want to see confident, assured performances today, and hopefully we get that. For me, that starts with that back line. The second half against Wolves, they were a lot better on the football, moved a lot quickly, and that's the way they need to enter this game today. I don't want to see them rocking up to the City ground with any nerves. At the end of the day, these guys haven't been up in the Premier League in about 20 years. You know what I mean? So for me, we shouldn't be scared. And I know people are going to say, "Oh, you got to show the opposition respect." No, that's the player's job. That's the manager's job. That's not my job. My job is to sit here and predict the outcome and talk Tottenham. And for me, I see nothing but a Tottenham win today. I don't see anything we should be scared of. I don't see anything we should be rattled of. And at the end of the day, they wear red jerseys. So that's even more of an incentive to absolutely smash them up. But look, we'll welcome in the next one. We've got another one joining us today. He's late, Daigle. So should we have to do a forfeit, maybe get him to do a Spurs song? And initiation, maybe?
Why not? I mean, if it's who I think it is, and I think I do know who it is, then yeah, he's going to have no problem doing a forfeit. I wish I knew we had to plan a forfeit, because he tried to get me to do a really bad forfeit on the Two Brian show, and I said I'll get revenge. I didn't have enough time to do it, but yeah, we'll think of a forfeit for him. Bring him on.
I think from now on, when you're late, if you rock up late, you've got to do an initiation song. So
then I've got a forfeit for last week. Shh.
Well, you didn't rock up, so that's why you don't have to do one. But look, let's get on to Bob Spur. Bobby, my man, what song are you singing us?
Think about my favourite bedroom track. 21 seconds to go. I got 21 seconds to go. Sorry, I'm late. I fell asleep.
Could have been the Wenger boys. Boom, boom, boom. You know.
Yeah. No, sorry, I fell. Sorry, I'm late. I fell asleep on the toilet.
No, you're all good. I don't blame you. Sometimes, you know, it's the comfiest place to be sometimes. But look, I mean, Bob, me and Dave were speaking here. I mean, performance today. Surely we should, like, 3 points is a must, but you want to get the performance with that today, especially with the big games coming up.
Yeah, there's that nostalgia that me and Brian always talk about when it comes to Forest and some great battles. 91 Cup final, can go on about it all day. But yeah, you have to stand back and look at the big picture. We're the fourth best team, factually, in England last season. We've started off with points on the board this season. We just need to show up, strut our stuff, show we are a big team. And even on paper, I mean, even logically, 16 players in to any football team, they're going to need time to gel. They might work out, they might not, but they do need time to get to know each other and time to gel. Had a couple of good results, but we're way the better team. The only team who's going to defeat us today, cause us problems today, is going to be ourselves.
I agree. I actually fully agree with that, Bob. I think if it does go the way we're not expecting it to. I think that will be down to our own doing more than anything. I'm not sure whether the Spurs players were instructed to take the piss out of the Arsenal fans at the game yesterday, but this is them arriving to the City ground, especially Harry Kane, in the black T-shirts that them Arsenal fans were bouncing around in yesterday, singing the Saliba song when Gabriel scored. I mean, you couldn't write it, honestly. It kills me seeing them guys happy, you know, and they all wore them, you know, for Mikel Arteta because he wears these famous black tops all the time. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, if that's your hero, I think your parenting has been very, very bad, in my opinion. But look, guys, I mean, are we expecting changes today? Daigle, the lineups will be out in 15 minutes' time. So are you expecting any rotation to happen today?
I'd like to see Longley. I really would like to see Longley and give Davies a rest because, look, whether you are in Davies as a first teamer, Davies is the right choice for left or the number one person in that position. You would think that he'd play him against West Ham and then in the Champions League and then Fulham. And I think this could be the game for Longley to come in. And especially
just quickly, Brian, sorry, no Lucas Moura or Brian Hill today. They did not travel, so
I will let you know a little thing. I'm hearing things that I don't know the club, but apparently there's a 20 million bid in for Lucas. So I don't know how true that is. There may be some movement on that. That's all I'll say with Lucas. I haven't had gospel or anything, but I've had a few things where that's gathering kind of pace. But who knows? I hope it isn't because then who do we get in? Whatever.
Yeah.
But do you know what? There's been a lot of talk about Heung-min Son, and obviously, does he get dropped? Does he get rested? Whatever you want to say. And it goes back, and I mentioned this on the Late Late Show on Friday on this channel. When we're looking at the way we've played, I've said, you know what? I think against Chelsea for sure, I'd have loved to have seen a third person in midfield. I'd have loved to have seen. So we're all talking, if Son comes out, if he is rested, and I am to say rested because he does not, listen, he's a world-class player and all this hate he's getting is beyond pathetic. I wouldn't mind it. People are saying if Son comes out, Richarlison obviously goes in to make the 3-4-3. I would not mind seeing a 3-5-2 and seeing Bentancur, Højbjerg and Basuma.
Is that a risk today, though, Brian, with West Ham on Wednesday? Because you're using all your fully fit midfielders.
Yeah, but you've got to try and, if you're going to experiment or do this, or you want Basuma to get minutes in his legs, because you can change that. It doesn't mean it has to stay as a 3 in the midfield for the whole game.
Yeah.
But I think if we match people up in midfield or have that extra person in midfield, and we know the abilities Basuma has, that could have a huge difference to the lack of possession and the lack of. So there is a good chance that Son's going to be out, and it probably will be Richarlison. But I would like to see. And I think this is a game where you could experiment with it, with seeing Basuma, Højbjerg and Bentancur all together. So I want to see a bit of flexibility in this formation. We've seen it when he's put 4 strikers up when we needed it against Chelsea. Let's get a bit of extra bite in midfield and try and dominate from that midfield. It's something I'd like to see. Whether it happens, I don't know, but it's something I would like to see.
Interesting. And Bob, would you like to see rotation today, considering we haven't put in a good performance yet and West Ham are right around the corner on Wednesday? Or would you rather us roll out the same team as last week, get a good cohesive performance, deal with West Ham, and then look to rotate?
Yeah, I mean, anyone who knows me knows I love a long lay. Yeah, I like to see Richarlison, of course. You know, we spoke about it this morning, me and Richie, and he'd love a start. Now, what Brian touched on, maybe give Sonny a rest. We've got a harder game in midweek away to West Ham, and regardless of Sonny's poor form, I'd rather see him play against a West Ham than a Forest. Why not give him a bit of a break? Give him a rest. Don't drop him. Or give a bit of a rotation. Bring Richarlison against Forest, and then bring Sonny in against West Ham. I think that's what we should be. That should be our mindset. There's a big difference between dropped and rested, and that's why I asked the question earlier on my show: should he be rested? If he is rested, will the fan base jump onto the narrative? Oh, because it's been dropped, not rested, because it's been shit. No, get Richarlison in, give him a game because it's easier game, famous last words, than what we got coming up in midweek. And I prefer Sonny for that, regardless of his starts of the season.
Well, here's Conte's words on Sonny from the press conference. You know very well that we are talking about a really important player for me and for the club. For sure, I think Sonny in the last 3 games, he had chances to score, but there is moments, but lucky or unlucky. No problem with Sonny's performance. His attitude and commitment is always very high. Happy about his performances, and I don't see a problem with him. I think he's been very, very nice to him there. Me personally, look, I'll be honest though. I would not drop or rest Sonny today. For me, you play bad players or world-class players through their form rather than rest them. Funny enough, they respond better being out there with all the pressure and all the eyes on them rather than what they do if they're benched and stuff like that. They then start to become unhappy. For me, look, first of all, I want to tell some fans out there to get respect for some of our world-class players around here. I heard it with Kane as well, drop him, sell him, he's lack of pace, this, that, and the other. But yet he turns up every single season without a shadow of a doubt. And even in the worst times, Son and Kane have always turned up. So for me, get a bit of respect and put a bit of respect on Son's name for what he's done for this football club. Last season, for the first 10 games, you would say, he was probably our only shining light. And let's not forget that. I'm sick of hearing, drop Sonny or drop Kane, and, very quick to turn on our world-class players. But then I've heard excuses made for Harry Winks for the last fucking 5 years. Sanchez, people like that. And it absolutely drives me insane. By the way, Sim, if you are listening on the way to the game, I hope you're okay. Harry Winks is off to Sampdoria. I do hope you're okay, my man. I really do. I know you're a big fan. Yeah, I know you're a big fan, boy, so I hope you're okay, Simeon. But look, for me, I think you play Sonny today, and I think by Conte's words, and I think he will play him today, and I actually think Son will score today. I think he's more than fit enough to get out there today, get a good performance in his legs, 60, 65 minutes, take him or Kane off or whoever you want, and then get them a bit of rest for West Ham on Wednesday. By the way, I can't wait for that one. That's going to be a good week, that, by the way. But for me...
what you have to say as well? With Son, if he is, and I'm not saying dropped, it is rested, it's rotated, like Man City do, like Liverpool do, like I say, these teams get to the top. You watch, if Haaland gets rested for Man City won't say shit. They'll be like, okay, we're resting for the bigger games. We need him for the... If Son starts on the bench today, what a weapon to bring on in the 65th, 70th minute, when Nottingham Forest are tiring and their defence is not used to playing such a high level of player, and then a raring to go, 100% match fit, ready to go, Son is ready to rip them apart with his pace. He could come on and literally do more damage from the bench and be ready for West Ham. So it could be a tactical masterstroke from Conte to say, right, do you know what? These teams might tire. Our fitness, and we've seen how crazy our fitness is, bring him on in the second half where he has got a full tank of gas and Nottingham Forest are tiring, and then he'll just run them ragged. So there's that way of looking at it as well. But I know where you're coming from about starting him.
There's a balance as well, isn't there, Dave? There's balance. Some people need to get a fucking grip sometimes. I agree with Sava on everything, and it's probably changed my mind or swayed my mind a bit more. No one's saying drop
Exactly.
Sonny.
Look, it's been around.
How dare you?
How
dare you drop Sonny after 3 games? Yeah, these are the same kind of fans, some of the fan base who will say later on, Son needs a rest. Son needs a rest. If we're going to big ourselves up to be that good team, good team, then we're good enough to have a Richarlison coming. Richarlison shit, you watch. Are you sports Spurs? I want Emerson to be good. I want Sessegnon to be the best left wing back in the world. The fact that I think they might not get there is brilliant. But to say wanting to have the stance of no, this new player who's had minutes for us is going to be shit. You watch, I'm going to be right. I question your love of this football team. Maybe you should go and support someone else, man. Get over it. Get a grip.
Look, I'll be honest. I have seen a lot of over social media, about dropping, and not using the word rested. I think you use the word rested, it's different. But you use the word rested when a player's tired. We're 3 games into the season. 3 games into the season, and
Well,
there's
we've
no
got
need.
another game coming up, haven't we?
I,
So
I, I,
that's the only reason. If we didn't have
no,
another
I get
game,
that.
keep
I
Sonny.
get that.
Keep
I
Sonny.
get that. But for me, there's no need to force the rotation either. I think that will start happening naturally because between here and now, I think over the next, 23 days, we've got 7 games. That's more or less a
Yeah,
game
sit, man.
every single 4 days. So it will start to happen naturally. I don't think we need to force it. And I'd be interested to see what Conte does. We are 5
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, as well, guys, do you think we might see a change in midfield? Maybe taking out one of Højbjerg and Bissouma, Højbjerg and Bentancur and bringing in Bissouma? And which one would you like maybe to see if it was not a change in formation, it was what it was last week? What one would you like to see come out and rested for the West Ham game and give Bissouma an opportunity to show what he can do in his first half?
It's very hard for me. I mean, everyone's saying that the one they want to see, and I must admit, and everyone knows my feelings on Højbjerg, but I think the one most people want to see is Bentancur and Bissouma. But what I've noticed this season is, especially in Chelsea and Wolves, each of them turned up for 45 minutes and were missing for the other 45 minutes. And I think Højbjerg has come off slightly better with, like, you look at the run against Wolves near the end of the game where he ran it and just his you know what I mean, where he killed some time, his hold up play, he had something to do in Ben Davies's goals, his determination, whatever. But I think the one that everyone wants to see is Bissouma and Bentancur. But as people have been saying, I agree with it. It looks like out of that midfield 4, Højbjerg is his general. Højbjerg is the one that he's like, right, you're Mr. Dependable, you're the guy that so if there was to be a change, I think it would be Højbjerg and Bissouma. But I think the one I want to see more is Bentancur and Bissouma. But I just want Ollie skip back because I'm a huge fan of Ollie. I'm a huge fan of Ollie. But it's more options for Conte. But yeah, I think I would like to see Bissouma and Bentancur. But I think Højbjerg and Bentancur is what Højbjerg and Bissouma is what Conte would do.
I will just say quickly, Richarlison does have a haircut looking like he's been told he's going to start today. I will say that. It's fresh, it's trimmed, it's ready to go, and it looks like a starting haircut. So we'll wait and see. And by the way, Harry Kane is on it today with that hair. I mean, honestly, he's looking so good. I bet his wife doesn't pay him as much compliments as I do. He's got the good shampoo and the conditioning that he treated me this week. But Bob, I mean, that midfield, my man, you obviously we want to see Bissouma come in, but who would you take out?
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? People have got the narrative of Højbjerg's been poor first 3 games. Yeah, he won man of the match against Wolves, I believe. There is that understanding there with Højbjerg and Bentancur. I just want to see a bit of positive play in midfield. Now, does Bissouma bring that more to the game than a Højbjerg and a Bentancur? Probably. I think Bissouma might surprise quite a few players, quite a few fans with his attacking intent. He might not have the shot. I think he might surprise some of the fan base with the goals he might get this season. But I think, again, probably a bit hypocritical. The partnership that Bentancur and Højbjerg have will probably stick to that. In an ideal world, I'd love to see, like Brian, I'd love to see Bissouma and Bentancur. The B&B.
Oh, do you know what? I actually agree with you. Look, I'm a big fan of Højbjerg. I think he gets a lot of unnecessary criticism, in my opinion. I think he's scapegoated an awful lot. Scapegoated against Chelsea, but one of the best performers second half. Scapegoated against Wolves, ended up pulling man of the match. But in today's game, I think Bentancur, in terms of his ball playing ability, I think he's going to have a lot more space in the middle or in and around the middle today. And I think we will miss that more today if we didn't have him than what we would if we dropped him. So for me, I would take Højbjerg out, make sure he is fully rested for that West Ham game. And I would even actually go as far as saying I'd actually put in Bissouma beside Højbjerg in that West Ham game. 2 hard-working midfielders up against West Ham's working hard-working midfield. But today,
Dave, why isn't that same narrative for Sonny then?
Because for me, I think just world-class players, when they're not performing,
he has more of an effect. Yeah, I get that.
No, but you stick with them. You stick with them, in my opinion. I think that I think taking them out when they're not on form has more of an effect on them mentally and has more trouble of blowing up and causing problems than what it does when you actually stick with them. When you stick with them, funny enough, they tend to thrive under that pressure.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm just not sure. I get the whole, like, I'm happy with the squad and I'm happy with the rotation. But for me, it doesn't need to be forced.
Got the starting 11 if you want it, mate. Got the starting 11.
Yeah.
So Lloris, Royale, Sanchez, Dyer, and Davis, Perisic in the left. We've got Højbjerg and Bentancur in midfield. Kulusevski, Kane, and Sonny starts. So as you were.
As you were.
No changes whatsoever.
No changes whatsoever, man.
Interesting. I thought maybe you would have seen maybe a Session come in for Perisic today.
Yeah.
And then on the bench as well, you've got Fraser Forrester, Matt Doherty. Jed Spence did make the bench despite Antonio Conte's comments on him, which is interesting.
Tanganga is a weird one.
Yeah, Jaffet Manhandler. I think, do you know why that one is? Because AC Milan were looking for him, but didn't they sign that player off Schalke, that centre-back off Schalke yesterday? Yeah. So I'd say it's probably reintegrating him. La Longley is on the bench. Ryan Sessegnon, Papamata Sarr on there today. Bissouma and Richarlison. So it's a very, very healthy looking bench, and I'm hoping the plan is to get this job done nice and early and get them off and use them 5 substitutions. I mean, Brian, are you surprised there's no rotation today?
Yes. I really, really am, because you look at it now. Even Conte came out and said, right, these players are ready. These players are ready. So we've got to look at it now, and now the games come thick and fast. After today, all through September, especially in October, games are thick and fast, and we need players to get minutes in their legs. You got to look at the Champions League is round the corner. These players, Basuma's come on with 10, 15 minutes each game to go. Richarlison similar. Perisic is getting the minutes. And these players, I'm not getting into but you look at the players that we've brought in.
Yeah.
How many are now? We're talking, and I'm not getting into this. This isn't a digger. You know who. This is. You look at that, and people saying this has been a window that. Well, none of these players are playing. We brought in these players to improve the squad, to improve the first team. Well, one of them in Perisic is now starting to get regular minutes.
Yeah.
And you look at it now, these players, it's all about rotation. We've all been speaking about rotation and resting and how these big clubs do it. You look at already Man City and Liverpool who have been rotating. Mahrez has played one game. Started one game. Because they rotate. And that's why they get the performances. That's why they stay fresh. Forget the money that they spend, which is the obvious thing. But they keep their players fresh. And when a player gets dropped or a player gets whatever word you want to use, you don't hear the Man City fans or Liverpool fans or Chelsea fans going, "Oh my God, why is he not playing? Oh my God, how bad are you?" They do it because that's what they realise. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And I am baffled that there is no rotation today. Absolutely baffled.
I'll be honest. I'm actually not surprised, to be honest. I was expecting maybe Perisic, because when he came off against Wolves, he's been treated on the bench.
Yeah.
I was expecting maybe you could probably get away with taking him out, bringing in Sessegnon, and keeping him for the West Ham game. But I'm not surprised. This is only our 4th game of the season. For me, it's all about putting out the team consistently, getting the results, and then let the rotation happen naturally. And Conte was always going at the start of this season to put his faith into the players that got him into Champions League last season and wait for them to make their mistakes to be able to bring them in and bed them in that way. I mean, Bob, where do you stand on it? You surprised there's not one bit of rotation whatsoever?
No, I'm a bit like you. I don't think there is, but I want to concentrate a bit, if you may, on the subs bench, mate. You know, I think we talked about Lucas earlier. He's not on the subs, so I think there's a hint there. Maybe
it was Lucas's birthday this week, and I know it was put down during the week as he might be unwell. Hangover, in my opinion.
I'll work on my birthdays, man.
Well, remember what I said about the bid?
Yeah. But also, another thing, Richarlison is our only attacking or a mindseted player on the bench.
Do you think we rectify that with the remaining week?
I hope so, man. I mean, we've got 2 right wingers or right backs, a left wing back, 2 defensive midfielders, another centre back in Tanganga, a Longley. We've got another centre back. If things go haywire, which I don't think they hope don't go. Richarlison's the only real player we've got to come on and rely on to come on and change a game. Hey, if Lucas was on there, it wouldn't hold me in any more confident. But
it's nice to have them options, though.
Yeah, but maybe it's magnifying some of the areas, or definitely some of the areas we need to improve on. So yeah, Richarlison's the only player with attacking mindset that we've got on the bench. But starting 11, I'm not surprised. Would it have liked a bit of a change? Yeah. But we can't be surprised, man. Let's be honest. We can't be surprised.
Let me ask you this on Richarlison, Bob. I mean, the fact that Sonny hasn't been playing well the last couple of games, and despite what I said, I do want him to play today. I'm happy he's playing. But what sort of message does that send out to Richarlison then? It's like, what does he have to do to get into the team? I mean, do you think you put him in a negative mindset, or do you think he's accepted, look, I'm coming into Tottenham, I have to get myself to that sort of level?
Well, when we had our pillow talk this morning, I did ask him that question. I go, how do you feel? No, I think he's gone from the biggest fish in a medium-ish pond at Everton to being a part of a squad. He needs to get over the fact that he is in a big squad. I hope the message to him is, wow, this is what a big team looks like. This is a team. Listen, he's going to be hearing the accolades from the fan base, from Conte, that he is doing well. And he is making a difference. For me, he's not scored a goal. He hasn't assisted, really. He's brought that drive, determination, and he's changed the mindset and changed the intensity every time he's come on. Put it into facts. I sound like Will now. But you put it onto a spreadsheet, he's not done that much. But at least he's affected the game positively. He'll get his time, man. He'll get his time against West Ham, maybe. We don't know. But, I think it's way too early for him to even sit down and start questioning what kind of mental effect it's going to have on him. I think there's plenty of time. He'll get game time, man. He'll get game time.
Yeah.
Champions League draw has been kind to us. I'm sure we'll get minutes to that. And for any player to play in the Champions League, he'll be all right, man. He'll be all right. 100%. Rich will be fine.
100%. And for me, look, I like what Richarlison has done coming off the bench. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think, you know, especially against Chelsea, I mean, I think he lost the ball every time he touched it. But what is he worked hard. Against Wolves, when he came off the bench, he just kept us up the pitch rather than what you've seen before, where we relinquish possession, sitting tight and invite balls into the box and hopefully wait it out. Richarlison done something about it. He grabbed the ball, found his bollocks, and he started running at players, running it down into the channels and just wasting time, tiring that Wolves backline out as well. And for me, I actually hope today he gets about, a good half an hour on that pitch.
Yeah.
I really would like to see him, and maybe come on for Kane, if I'm being honest.
2-0 Wolves. 2-0 Wolves, by the way, guys.
Yes, come on. West Ham, isn't it? They're playing Newcastle.
No, Newcastle.
Yeah. Newcastle.
West Ham has scored. West Ham have beaten Villa. They finally scored a goal just in time for goal of the month.
That's grand. We'll smash them on Wednesday. We'll bring them back down to reality. I'm very, very confident about that. Tin Man 007, big up for the support, brother. Really, really appreciate it. Everyone else, if you want to, get your chat highlighted, get it brought up and a good discussion, feel free to get your super chats in, like Tin Man 007 has done here. And we'll let both of you in on this, but we'll start with Daigle. Daigle, he says, we desperately need a centre-back. That defence, with the exception of Perisic, they are so average at best. Surely we are going to buy someone. Just quickly, what I will say is that Ukrainian kid, Sabanye, there was a guy from Ukraine, some sort of agent or something like that. He was saying he will be going to a club in London. Now, Tottenham have been linked with him all window. It's been in and out of the press and stuff like that. So it remains to be seen whether it is us. But Daigle, what would you say, Tim?
So first thing I've got to say about this going to London, well, that's good. That only narrows it down to about 8 teams. It's not like when you come to here and you go, I'm going to the MLS, I'm joining Toronto. It's like, okay, he's going to join Toronto. There's only one team. So this whole London, let's talk and get the media and get Twitter, everywhere, it's all bollocks. Listen, I've said it for a long time now. I want a centre back. I don't care if we were going for a centre back and a creative midfielder, and we spend all that money to get in a centre back.
Yeah.
Disallowed. Sorry, Brian. Disallowed. Second goal for Wolves. Yeah.
So we desperately need it. I'm getting sick and tired of hearing, oh, if Tanganga goes, we have to get a defender in. If we do that, that's going to be to the level of Tanganga. We've already got rid of Roden, who is absolutely abysmal and played terrible. So we were going for a Skriniar. We brought in a Roden. We got rid of him. We're going to get rid of a Tanganga. If Romero was injured for a longer time, and Sanchez comes in, and as people know, I back Sanchez, but only when he plays a cluster of games, not an extended. No, but you know what I've said. Sanchez is the only guy that can come in, and whereas people need minutes to get match fitness and get to their best, Sanchez is the opposite. He comes in at peak match fitness, and he gets worse the longer he plays. So, like for 3-4 games, he can do a job. But if Dyer gets injured, it's Sanchez. If Romero gets injured, it's Sanchez. And it's like, well, it's obvious once again, it's another window where a key component that all fans can see, no matter where you are on the spectrum of that man, we needed a backup for Kane. It took 8 years to find Richarlison. We needed backup for Dembele. It took 4 years to find 3 years to find Basuma, who you could say could fill that role. Now we obviously know it's glaring at centre back, and it's like, oh yeah, let's just see. We're waiting for an opportunity. That fucking word is killing me right now. Every time I hear that word, we're waiting for an opportunity. If Tanganga goes out, or if he doesn't go out, we need a centre back. Plain as day. Plain as day.
I fully agree with you. I fully agree with you on that. I've been parroting about centre back, but look, I'll have my say in a minute. I'll let Bob go first.
We desperately need a centre back, of course we do. I just think, apart from like Tim Man mentioned, Perisic is the only great wing back we've got. We talked about players with attacking mindset. Our attacking mindset comes from the wing backs. As much as I want Emerson to be the best right wing back in the world, Sessegnon to be the best left wing back in the world, the fact we're fighting over who should start out of Doherty or Emerson, Spence, we just don't know. For me, man, it's the wing backs. In an ideal world for me, we need wing backs in. I think defensively, of course, I don't think we'll win anything with the likes of Davis and Dyer, the first team starter. We definitely need a centre back in. But if I had the choice right now, choice of bringing 2 wing backs in, better wing backs in, first choice, first team wing backs in, and 1 centre back in. For me personally, I'd go for the 2 wing backs, man.
Interesting. Look, for me, everyone knows how I feel on that back line. I think it hinders us not only defensively at times, but I also think the way we play, in terms of trying to play out from the back. But I will say this: I do think we've had a decent enough window. Now I'm going to caveat that by saying it'd be a shame not to complete it by bringing in another 2 players, in my opinion, and really top it up. This year was about filling out that squad. We had to get rid of a lot of the players that were hanging around or out alone that didn't offer anything, and really filling out that squad. And that's why you're seeing the likes of Doherty maybe still here, and someone like Emerson as well, because it was about filling out that squad. Now, I will also say, I don't think any of us here would be naive to know that we were always going to come out of this window with 1 or 2 positions that we would be angry about that weren't filled. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to, is Conte happy with the squad? And basically, when he was asked about it the other day, he says, I'm happy with the squad we have now, but if any goes out, we need to replace them. And for me, I think what we need to do is learn maybe a few lessons from January. Everyone said it wasn't going to be enough. We were weaker in numbers, etc., etc., etc. But we didn't make the same mistakes. We bought quality in over quantity, and look at identifying our targets. Look at the impact that had on that team with Bentancur and Kulusevski coming in. And I wouldn't be so quick to write this window off as well, because it could end up being the same throughout the course of this season. Now, have I got that marquee signing I thought Tottenham were going to bring in? No, I don't think we have. And I do think we've had a good window, but I would be disappointed not to finish it off. And I do think maybe there's another couple of areas we should strengthen. But we also have to, if we were being brutally honest and assessing the squad with honesty and none of this bollocks about Sanchez has kept clean sheets for 7.5 hours, let's keep him around. They're all against relegation teams that I expect to keep clean sheets against, and some of them were sub appearances when the rest of the guys already done the job for them. But like, I don't want to hear any of that anymore. And for me, I'm just hoping we do get in that centre back. But
would Zaha be classed as a marquee signing for you, Dave?
I think it'd be a very good
Chelsea
signing.
going in for him, man. Just broken. Chelsea are going in hard for Zaha.
Oh, for crying out loud! Will they stop?
That is disappointing.
Will they bloody stop?
That is disappointing.
Look, listen. I will say one thing. Obviously, I've kept very, very quiet this window. I'm starting to make a little bit of a ripple now. Because
the amount of times you've said I've been kept quiet. You know
no, I have on social media. The fingers have gone away. They're back in training. I've been very, very reserved. And like I said, when the money came in, I said, listen, it's a step in the right direction. Let's see where we go with this. The reason I'm keeping quiet is obviously David will know very well because I was on his channel when January, where things were really about to go down, and then out of the blue, bang, it just went like as quickly as anything. In came Bentancur and Kulusevski. Do Tottenham have the power to pull that off again? Yes, they most certainly do. With Paratici, could it happen? Yes, it most certainly can. So I think right now, if the window shuts right now, I will be disappointed. I will be extremely disappointed. Don't get me wrong. Am I happy that we move quickly in the summer? Yes. Am I happy we bought players like a Richarlison at that kind of money, a Basuma, a Perisic, especially when we don't normally sign players of that? Those things are all steps in the right direction. But it would have been like 2 steps forward, 1 step back again.
But so what I would say is, I wouldn't say we haven't strengthened, because when you look at it, like Fraser Forster in for Galini, you would say that's strengthening. Clark out, Spence in, I would say, look, that's probably a strengthening, maybe like for like. Reggie out, Perisic in, Rodon out, Langley in, Bergwijn out, Richarlison in, and Winks out, Basuma in. So for me, I do think when you look at the players we shifted out and the players we brought in, I would say strengthening. Now, I think the fair question is have we strengthened to the best of our ability? Now, that's a complete different question altogether. And I would say potentially not. But also with this centre-back, I do want to caveat by saying that I don't think it's been for lack of trying by Tottenham this summer. We were trying to get Bastoni out of Inter. We were trying to look at Gleison Bremer and stuff like that. And I don't think it's been for want to try it. But I'll ask you a question. Would you rather us bring in right now, currently, someone that's maybe third or fourth choice on the list, or wait for first choice, a bit like what Liverpool done with Virgil van Dijk?
I don't care, man. I think someone mentioned in the chat, Zaha's a good player, but it wouldn't be a good investment. That sound like Levy, man. That sound like Dinic. I don't care if they're investment or not. Thiago Silva comes in at Chelsea. Oh, my God. Oh, no, I thought it was another goal. Right, yeah, it's 90 minutes and Newcastle got an equaliser. But anyway, Thiago Silva comes into Chelsea, makes them solid defensively. It's not an investment. Varane comes into Man United. They're not going to get any money back for him. Casemiro's coming at the age of 30, 50 odd, 60 million. Yeah. It's not an investment. But I'll tell you what, they've all made the team better. I don't care, man. I don't care. I don't care if they're 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, 20th, 560th position in our so-called list. And I don't care how much they cost. It's going to be as long as they improve our team. Yeah. There's been a lot of chat about, and this one thing I don't agree with Sava, he's a £60 million player, Richarlison. Why wouldn't you start him? I think money goes out of it, Dave. I don't care if it's 60 million or 6 million. If he comes in and affects our team in a positive way, then brilliant. Dawson was brought in alongside Andy Reid. Andy Reid was going to be our big money signing. Dawson became the mainstay, became club captain, is now ambassador. To me, it's all irrelevant what a player costs. That's not my job. And if Lineker are that good at business people, then they'll know what to spend on a player and whatnot. If investment for me, irrelevant. Age for me, irrelevant. Right now, we need to better our team. So I don't care where they are on the so-called list.
I'd agree with that. And I think Perisic backs you up with the age of being irrelevant at the end
Yeah,
of the day.
exactly, mate.
I mean,
Yeah,
if you're good enough, you're good enough. And that's it at the end of the day. Tin Man 007 he says, we haven't fixed the right wing-back or centre-back positions. We massively lack creativity in this team too. I think Levy has fooled us again, to be honest. What's our net spend? Look, I'll just take a small bit of this comment. I think, look, with the right wing-back, I think I'd have to agree with people. I think I'll give in on that. I mean, look, I think we had the opportunity to do it, but we chose to bring in Spence instead of, getting someone better in here to do that job. And Spence is more of a long-term project for Tottenham Hotspur. Centre backs, I am pissed off. I agree with you, Tin Man 007. But I would say it's not for the lack of trying. At least that's one thing I think I can say. I don't think it is for the lack of trying. The creativity thing. Now, here's where I have an issue. I have said this time and time again, and this isn't at you, Tim, man. I mean, I've been arguing this for months now. We don't fail. Scoring goals at Tottenham is not a problem. You've got the last 2 Golden Boot winners in your team. You've got Harry Kane and Son. You've got Kulusevski who's come in, added goals and stuff like that. I think in, 30-odd games Conte has been in charge, and I think we've got like 67 goals. Scoring goals is not a problem. For me, it's keeping them out is our biggest problem, in my opinion. But Brian, I mean, what do you want to say to Tim Man 007?
I want to say a bit about what you were saying about creativity. I know where you're coming from, but you also look about it and you say, yeah, we've got the 2 Golden Boot winners. A lot of these goals, like they scored them in clusters. Like hat tricks here or 2 goals here, with that extra creativity, that 1-0 against Burnley that we lost, that extra bit of creativity could have turned that 1-0 into a 1-1, a 2-1. That's where I think when you're looking at the creativity, it's not so much, scoring goals, 5 against Norwich, 4 against Villa, 4 against Leeds. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, David, for me, defender is the most important thing. I will choose defender over creative midfielder every single time. But where I think Tim Man's coming from and what I'm saying about with the creativity is, yes, scoring goals isn't a problem. Look at but can you imagine if we did have let's just say a player like a Van der Vaart.
We spent 60 million on Richarlison, so
I'm sorry. So when you talk about creativity, the way I've been looking at it, and I'm just going to use 2 players by name. I'm not James Ward-Prowse for me. I really wanted until we got Basuma, but then because it's all they're deep lining, pass the ball, creative midfielders that spray the balls around, or you got someone like. The other kind of creative player I describe is like a Liverpool Coutinho, one of those creative ones that's got that bit of magic that takes on players, can thread the ball through an eye of a needle with long-range shooting. All of that. If we had a Coutinho-esque player in these games that we struggled to get victories over, or struggled to get points with, or dropped against Burnley, the game that we were at, David, against Wolves, where we were absolutely devoid of everything. But
here's my point, though, Brian. What's the point of bringing in a cam or a playmaker who plays just in front of Harry Kane when you can't even get the ball to them? In them games that we're talking about, we struggle to even transition the ball out from the back line. So if we're struggling to transition the ball from the back line, what's the point of bringing in a cam who plays further up the pitch when you can't even get in the ball?
No, David, like I said, I am with you completely on the defender. I'm just saying the argument for the creative midfielder could be that for me. And this is why I'm surprised that Longley isn't playing, because when we have struggled, Longley's passing is the best out of the back. Is out of the back, apart from Perisic, obviously on the out of that back 3, Longley's passing or his Ranger passing outshines everyone in that. So when we have struggled to get the ball out, if we do have those moments where we're under the cosh, use him to. If you remember the Rangers game where he did that pass to Richard, one pass, bang, he just dissects or bypasses everything. So that's why. But like you said, the defence. I mean, when it comes to Levy has fooled us again. I'm waiting, like I said, patiently till the end of the window, and then I'll have my say. But like I said, there have been positive things about this window. There has been change within the way we have done business. I can't deny that. I cannot, and this is me talking. There have been positive changes. Has it been everything that we were led to believe, or everything we all thought it was, and the caliber of players we were going to get? That's where that's the missing bit for me. But there has been change.
Next week is going to be one crazy week around this fan base. So many different opinions flying in. The last week of the window as well. It's going to be absolutely crazy. But you know what? I like it crazy. I wouldn't have it any other way. So it's going to be absolutely a very fun week as well with West Ham and then Bubble Merchants on Wednesday. We're coming for you as well, so I cannot wait for that. But I mean, guys, final thoughts heading into this game, and we'll start with you, Bob. Final thoughts, score prediction, and give your channel a plug.
Yeah. I think 4-1 Spurs as always. Just one on creativity, Dave. Don't mind. First of all, Thursday we don't want any Vinicius chat. Secondly, it was I think we can't have enough. You can never have too many creative options in a squad. Look at our subs today. Richarlison is the only one who's going to give us any form of attacking intent. And for me, you're right, spot on. For me, Sonny's the best left wing back in the world. Kane has always been the best striker in the world. Me and Daigle disagreed on this at the beginning of last season. For me, there was no way he should ever enter anybody's thought about selling him because of his little tantrum like a baby. We could all understand why. But no, for me, he's the best number 9. But for me, why should we rest on our laurels when we know full well better wing backs will make them better? Better wing backs will make us probably a bit more solid defensively, because I don't agree with this narrative, Dave, about Emerson. He's not that great, but hey, at least he's solid defensively. Yeah. He gets twisted nearly every game, man. He's got a good job. He's got Romero behind him and someone with a bit of brain to know when to take the ball off Emerson and when to show a bit of space to Emerson to take the ball off him in Kulusevski. I don't think he's that great a defender. I want him to improve. Of course, he wears my club shirt. I'll cheer his name on. But I just don't think we can fail in having too much of a creativity.
I get that. But when I say that, I'm more prioritizing that back line, because for me, attackers win your games, strikers win your games, but defenders win your leagues across the course of the season. And I think if we could keep some of them goals out, I think you'd see more results on the board, more points on the board. Ideally, in an ideal world, bring in both. That's what I want. I would say bring in both. But if I had to prioritize, I would say centre back right now over creativity. Anyway, Bob, what's coming up on Bob's Bar?
10:45. Did a morning show this morning. Obviously, that's what it's called, the morning show. And then got a Saturday night. Saturday night, it's 10:45. Bob's Bar TV in the wall, where we look back. We'll be looking back at 3 Spurs games this Saturday. Obviously today, Wednesday, and the Fulham game on Saturday as well. So 3 games to look back at, previewing the rest of the Premier League. Then we've got some wonderful game show happening later on in the show. 10:45 every Saturday night on YouTube on Bob's Bar TV. Hope you can go over, subscribe, and watch the stream. No idea why I'm talking like that.
Trying to sell me a car, Bob, I think.
That's it.
Your voice that you use in the job, my man. I love it. But do get over and check out Bob's Bar TV. After 12, whip out the gym. You'll have plenty of fun. But Diego,
yes.
Final thoughts heading into the game, score prediction, and give the channel a plug.
So first of all, 3 points are guaranteed, because you know what, it's being worn. You can see the stain has remained.
The famous jizz stain.
There you go, the famous chicken wing stain. But if you want to translate it into that, Bob, let's go with what you want to think. So Tottenham on tour. We've got Shelfside on tour with Rez and Nick tonight at 9 o'clock. There's going to be a lot of changes on Tottenham Tour. I say a lot of changes. I've now got a job, and we had everything scheduled to do shows on this day at this time, and then obviously I got a job which was bang smack in the middle of all the times we wanted to do things. So Ireland and I are meeting tomorrow and rescheduling everything. We are now, I think it's 80 away from hitting 5K, so the road to 5K is on. There's a lot of stuff coming up, and obviously we do the late show on We Are Tottenham TV on Friday nights. But hopefully we'll be doing a show Monday. And one thing I will say, I work till midnight UK time. And obviously on Thursday, the transfer window closes and I'm at work. So around 8 o'clock, 1 o'clock UK time, Daigle will be going live on Tottenham on Tour. and let's just say the embargo is over, and I can speak about what I want to speak and evaluate what I want to evaluate. So Tottenham on tour Thursday, 1 a.m. UK time, 8 p.m. Toronto time will be a very, very good thing for Tottenham on tour. I don't know why that says Tottenham away there. It's Tottenham on tour. But yes, so Tottenham on tour is where you will find me, and Brian Ireland, and obviously Danny Kiriakou, who is going to be doing the watch along with Marlon.
Should be a good watch along. And Brian, what's your score prediction?
I am going, like I said to you before, I am going 3-2, and I'm saying 3-2 us. It's not going to be easy, and I've said it on a few channels. I am a big fan of Morgan Gibbs-White. This kid is gonna. I've said as well, he will be in the England squad for the World Cup 2026. 2026, not this one, the one that's going to be in Canada, America, and Mexico. He is a very, very, very good player, and I think he is going to be a problem for us today. I really do. Everyone's talking about Jesse Lingard and whatever. Morgan Gibbs-White for me is their best signing.
Yeah, look, with Lingard, I have to just throw a few pound coins on the pitch. He'd be going around picking them up. He loves the money. That guy. But guys, do get over and check out Tottenham on tour. The link is I've done it again. Tottenham on tour. It is the link for Tottenham on tour. I'm such an idiot today. But do get over there, smash that subscribe button, the same as Bob Spur TV. Also, don't forget to smash the subscribe button here. And last but not least is myself, guys. You can find me over at the Irish Hotspur. If you enjoy what we do here, it'd be nice to get around and subscribe to all 3 channels. So yeah, you can find me over there. Look, plenty of content, loads of different opinions on the channel. So hopefully you enjoy it if you check it out. But for me, in terms of Forest, I mean, I know they've won the last 13 out of their last 16 at home at the City Ground. They do like playing at home. They do put in good performances. But saying all that, we're the mighty Tottenham Hotspur. And for me, I think we rock up there. I think we've got way too much. Perisic, Kane, Son, Kulu, Sexy. Look, they've got some good players in Johnson, in that O'Brien kid. You know, good players. They might be able to get us once or twice. But ultimately, I think their back line is their weakness. And I think we've more than enough to take them. I'll be honest. I'm going to go big today. I'm feeling confident. I'm going to go 4-0 today. I said it earlier on. I think it'll be the same today. I'm going to go 4-0. I think Sonny might answer a few critics with a brace. I'm going to go Kane with 1. His hair looks sharp. There's no way he's not scoring with that. And for me, I think Kulu Sexy will get on the scoreline. I think there'll be plenty of opportunities for that front 3 all across. And hopefully Henderson can't find his gloves. That'd be absolutely nice because...
David, what would you do, sorry, David, if it was 4-0 and it was 2 goals from Emerson, 2 goals and a goal from Dyer, how would you feel?
Look, I'd give them praise. Look, Brian, I work on praise where praise is due. But I won't sit there. I won't sit there and back a player ultimately when I don't think he's good enough or when he's playing crap and stuff like that. I don't believe in that. I mean, I was brought up praise where praise is true and a bollocking where a bollocking is true. But look, at the end of the day, Brian, I don't care who gets on the score sheet. I mean, yourself, Bob, and my left nut. I mean, they could put all them on the score sheet. As long as we get the 3 points, that's all I care about, and that's all I want is the win. Bob, did you give us your score prediction? I'm not sure you did.
Like always, man. 4-1. 4-1. Always.
Who's scoring?
I think Sonny, Kane with 2, and I think like I say, when we were speaking earlier in bed, Richie said he's going to come and score and get a goal. So yeah, Richie will, or Boo Boo as I like to call him, will come on and get a goal as well.
Absolutely love it. Well, guys, I'm about to put on my dungarees and get the chainsaw out. It is time to cut down the forest. We will see you hopefully back here with the watch along with Danny Kiriakou and Marlon, who will be bringing you for the post-match fan show. Anyone wants some firewood delivered, just ring me up. I will have plenty. Come on, you Spurs. In content we trust.
David loves a bit of wood. Yeah.